Hi everyone. Here's our, I think it's our final slideshow for the year, and in regards to your financial section of the business plan. Disregard the milestone 2. Remember that we had to shift all this out, and it's now part of milestone 4 as part of your final submission. So you'll notice that I put a note up on the announcements board regarding timing. I have opened up a Dropbox that you can put a draft in sometime this week or over the weekend. Next week, I will be able to review them and provide feedback, including grammar, etc., etc. It'll be that final sweep, and to make sure you've got everything that you need to have in there prior to your final submission. I'd prefer to have you submit a really high quality project rather than submit something that you get a 70 in and it's really, there's then significant gaps involved if you've missed those milestones. So ideally you'll submit something this week or this coming weekend or very early next week. We'll have a chance to review in terms of I'll be able to edit and send back and help you with formatting, all those fussy things, and help it get to a place that you can submit it with great confidence on the 16th. Okay, so this is kind of the last bit in terms of everything that you should have had done and incorporated from milestone 1, 2, and 3 should be ready to roll. Milestone 3, there wasn't a lot of feedback because it's pretty straightforward. Your marketing plans looked really good, and the executive summary stuff, that's all stuff we can take a look at in that final grammatical editing clarity pass. Okay, so last big hurdle, financial, understandable, but I do believe that you're ready to roll with this from speaking to Rachel and to getting feedback from you that for the most part you're ready to roll. So let's take a look at what you need to have in your business plan. So this looks like an enormously daunting slide, but I'm hoping these terms are familiar to you by now, and this is what a good business plan needs to have. So we're going to talk about these independently. So allow yourself to get freaked out by this list, but then pack that away and we'll move on to the next slide, which will start with the process. Okay, so you've got your cash flow projections, you've got your opening balance sheet, you've already done a startup cost chart in another section in milestone 3 or 2, I think it was, in your strategy piece. You've got your income statement, and you're going to have break-even analysis. So the question is that most people have is, where do I put things? And so you've got some choices there. You've got the body of the business plan, and then you have appendices. And for the most part, you follow these rules. So in the body of the business plan, you refer to something. So if I'm talking about my cash flow projections, then I can write a paragraph and maybe put in a little tiny table that says these are my cash flow projections. I got to say that 5 times quickly. Cash flow projections for years 1 and 2. This is what they look like. But then I will attach in the appendices a full table, a full financial statement. So you can do a nice little chart in the body. Here I am, the body of the business plan, and you can attach as an appendix the actual statement itself. And you know how to do that. You know how to say in your body of your business plan, you say refer to appendix F, G, or whatever it is. Okay. So as a general rule of thumb, in the business plan, you're going to find information that's high level and relevant to the business plan. And then you refer to appendices for further information. And a good banker will take a look at those appendices. They'll want to know what you're basing those on. And Rachel would have spoken to you about assumptions. Make sure that you have your assumptions clearly defined and clearly stated in those appendices. You don't have to have that in the body, but if you're saying that, I'm going to make a profit of $200,000 in the first year, we need to know why and what you're basing those assumptions on. Okay, and we had some good examples of that through the pitch day, in terms of you have to be able to explain it. So high level in the business plan, detail in the appendices. So your appendices could end up, along with everything else you've got in your appendices, you could end up with all your financial stuff. You could have your contracts, you could have all sorts of stuff. it's really wide open depending on what kind of business you have. Okay, so we'll go back to this list. You've got your cash flow projections in year 1, monthly cash flow projections in year 2, or quarterly. You write a nice little summary paragraph for your business plan. You include perhaps a tiny, nice little table that illustrates that. And then you have your opening balance sheet. You can refer, you don't have to include it in your business plan per se. You put it in as appendix. And your closing balance sheet, year 2, year 1. You refer to that balance sheet thing in one paragraph. And then you've got an important part is your break-even analysis. How do you know that this enterprise is actually profitable? Okay. Next is your cash flow. Make sure, and this is just a little touch base to make sure that you understand what they are. By providing line-by-line rationale justification, that part of that is your assumptions, but also needs to be, your spreadsheets themselves need to be kind of make sense.